All right. All right. Hello, everyone. I am GrimShins, and joining me on commentary is Cronoon, and
Hello.
This is Echo: The Tides of Time, any percent. So, for those unfamiliar, Echo the Dolphin is kind of a strange series. In the first game, our pod was sucked up by a storm, and we went to the Arctic and talked to a blue whale who told us to go talk to a giant DNA strand who told us to go to Atlantis and go back in time and cause a time paradox and then go fight some aliens and save our pod. Did I get that right, Cronon?
Yeah. And then, in this game, the aliens are back. So you're gonna go through an adventure through time and oceans to fight them. And you're gonna have to deal with that giant DNA strand again. You're gonna go into the sky, into like sky rivers. It's a pretty fantastic journey. I feel like it's even crazier than the first one.
All right. So, the last couple of marathons, I've done hard mode, which is done by going straight up through those nasty shells, but that's kind of slow, so we're going to do any percent. So, first level here, home bay. Nothing too spectacular about it. We just gotta get to this teleport ring and do this 3D stage.
Yeah, so in addition to this game, there's 6 in total 3D stages here where you just move forward and you're trying to go through these rings, and you want to go through all of them. If you miss them, it's a 3-second time loss. There's also going to be some junk in your way. Here we just have some shells with like toxic bubbles, air bubbles that are coming out, but in later stages, like the deal with sharks and jellyfish, and it can get really messy. 2 in particular are really bad for other reasons, but pretty smooth here.
Yeah, normally on hard mode, we run the Japanese version of this game because the 3D stages lag less than they do in the NTSC-EU version, but for other reasons, NTSC-EU is the way to go for any percent. So, that was a level. If Cronoon, you want to explain what happens there?
Typically in that stage, there's like 4 crystals that you want to like shake out of their position. It's actually really annoying and difficult. If anyone who's played this game can remember, because it's one of the early stages. Very weird momentum. It takes forever. No, you can just squeeze in between the hitboxes on those rocks, and that's it. That's all she wrote. In the next stage, you also lose your magical ability that the DNA strand gave you, the asteroid, which allowed you to not breathe underwater. Or you didn't need to breathe at all. You didn't need oxygen. But now we have the air meter back. That's the set of 5 white squares in the top right you see. And that will constantly drain for the majority of the game. And if it runs out, you lose your physical health and then you drown. And so you basically have this time limit every time you're underwater.
Fortunately, because we're going fast, there's never a section in the game where air is actually an issue, which is very much not the case in the original Echo. The air meter drains a lot faster in that, so there are plenty of times. Okay,
Speaking of which, you barely made it.
Yeah. So, this is our descendant, Trelia. She shows up and says, "Touch me and I'll take you to the future." And when somebody shows up, says, "Hey kid, if you touch me, I'll take you to the future," I do it 100% of the time.
Same.
So, as you can see, dolphins in the future are long, got flappy fins.
They can also fly, which we'll be seeing shortly.
So, one cool thing that can happen that didn't is just by complete RNG, this opening little cutscene where we spawn in can be skipped. We've got no idea how it happens, but it saves 8 seconds when it does.
So he's doing a setup here. It's pretty precise, and then goes in those flying dolphins and tries to make it past this glyph, which is a crystal here.
Yeah, so we kind of messed up the exit of the level, which is funny because we did the frame perfect stuff just fine. Normally we have to like do a bunch of stuff in the level, kind of go all over the place, but we can jump around the barrier glyph and just exit it.
Those are basically doors, and you have to hit other crystals to get the key to open them up and unlock them, which we'll be doing here. But much quicker to just jump right around them. It is a little bit particular in the way you do it. So now we're in the sky, in a sky river, a jiggling sky river.
Yeah, in the future, the Earth is sentient, and it's developed kind of a vascular system where all of the oceans of the world are connected by these water tubes. So this feels downright luxurious to what I'm used to, because this level scrolls twice as fast as this in hard mode, and is also twice as long. So it takes the same amount of time on a split, but just a lot easier in any percent.
So coming up next is one of the best tracks in the game, IMO, and also on a really fast stage. There's a lot going on here. But yeah, we're basically being chased by a giant jellyfish called Medusa. And this stage is so much worse in hard mode.
Yeah.
But here we just breeze right by.
And since I exited the stage at the at a higher point, it set me up for a good start to this stage.
So he's going to be singing, which is shooting his sonar wave at these floating air bubbles, which gives him like this double jump. And if he holds up, and also, or if he spams the sonar, it's more guaranteed, and he gets
no!
the jump. Oh, he jumped a little short there.
That's okay. It's a cool stage, so you get to watch it again.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. This stage, it seems easy, but the bubbles are annoying because, like, yeah, they have like a hitbox that's fairly big, so you might be able to get that usually, but sometimes they're a little too short. There's a lot of pressure to do it fast too, because it feels really good to do this stage fast. The bubbles can also just break and screw you. Yeah,
we did it fast the second time, so just ignore the first attempt. That didn't happen.
So here we're gonna show a new gameplay element, Metamorphosis. You can change into several different creatures in this game. Here we turn into like a dove and can fly. And yeah, and now we're back in another 3D stage.
Yeah, over the course of the game, casually, you turn into a seagull, a shark, a jellyfish, and even an alien, but since we're going fast, we only ever use the bird.
This is the easy mode, the normal mode, really. So a pretty easy 3D stage here. All you have to do is avoid these stalks. I want to say they're from lotus flowers, from what they look like on the top. Could be wrong.
Yeah, it's some kind of kelp. I've got no idea if it's got any analog in real life. So
I feel like it does, based off how they did the art in this game.
Yeah, this stage, casually, is kind of long. We gotta turn into a bird, we gotta fly all the way to the left, grab a glyph, and fly to the right. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, this trick is pretty awesome. Let's see if he gets it. Okay. He usually will go for a few more tries here.
And we're gonna go for memes.
Ooh.
Oh no! We got memes.
Oh, bonk. Dang. Yeah, you get some ridiculous speed. You can actually clip through the right wall, despite going through the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a pretty awesome trick. He's basically using the dove's smaller hitbox to squeeze through 2 hitboxes of the wall on the left side, and just the right angle. You can just clip out of bounds, and we're gonna do that actually one more time in the run. With that method.
Yeah. Right now, I'm about to do a trick that I discovered entirely by accident. You can swim through that wall. I discovered it by accident during a stream. Just normally you're supposed to wait for this worm to eat rocks, but that's slow. And yeah, the DNA strand gives us an info dump and says we've got to go back to the present to save it.
Yeah, well, basically what it's saying is that the aliens are back, and they broke him into pieces and captured his orbs, because he's made out of orbs, and you got to go find those specifically, which we will be doing shortly. We'll be doing the ball hunt soon.
But first, we gotta save some orcas.
Yeah, random plot tangent. We go back in the present, and we can't progress without being a helpful hero. You gotta save the children of this mother orca. You go around the stage, and we get, I believe, what was it, like 3 pairs?
Just 2 pairs in any percent, so 4 orcas.
Oh, yeah. In hard mode, it's up to 4 pairs, I believe.
Yep, 8 in total.
It's you deal with a lot more difficult parts of this stage, but this one is pretty fun. Actually, it's just pretty much a movement stage. Nothing too crazy about it.
So this is the part of the level where I normally tell marathons it's a good spot to read donations, because it's kind of an auto-scroller. We've got to follow this baby orca because the exit to the level doesn't spawn if we don't follow it.
So Crimson Dragoon asks, what kind of drugs were the people who made this on? And it's funny that you asked that.
Okay, so I think I can talk about this. Ecco was largely inspired by the works of John C. Lilly, who was a scientist for NASA in the 1960s who tried to conduct communication experiments with dolphins. He was convinced that we could communicate with dolphins, and as part of that, he dosed dolphins with LSD. So, in a way, you could say the creators were not on drugs, but the person who inspired it, the dolphins were on drugs for sure.
There's more to that story that's even more disturbing. But
Yeah,
I don't think that's safe for this.
Yeah, that's not safe for stream. So this is Blackfin. He's leading us to a wall in the level that we got to get through, but he wants us to prove that we're Ecco the Dolphin, the great big hero of the sea. So we gotta follow him, and if we don't keep up with him, he actually respawns back at the beginning of the level, and he starts to make fun of you. And if you fail enough times, he eventually takes pity on you and just gives you the song.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
So now we can break these rocks. This is one of the areas where charge boosting in between rocks can really increase your speed. If you want to explain what charge boosting is.
Okay, charge boosting. So, the movement with charge boosting is pretty convenient. It's like a slide from C to A, so CBA. So you're, in general, there's a type of way to build your acceleration, your momentum really quickly. So you press C, which is this basic accelerating movement, and then B, so you charge. But you don't have the startup that charge usually has. So then you press A after that, and I don't remember the reason, but the sonar wave that comes out has the power of your charge attack, so that you basically have a weapon that can hit enemies. And since you're already moving at at almost top speed, you hit them with the charge beam, and then you go right through them, right where they used to be. So it's a very useful technique. I use it a lot. Grim doesn't use it as much. I think he prefers damage boosting, especially on this stage.
Yeah, I'm using the charge boosts at the beginning because it is faster, but at the beginning, in the tube here, it's faster just to damage boost through it. It is more dangerous, though. I'm at 0 health right now, so if I touch anything, I die. Fortunately, we made it through.
That is a stage where you turn into a jellyfish, but that is why we don't do that. It's very slow.
Yes, incredibly slow. So,
speaking of slow.
Yeah, so consensus, this is the worst 3D stage in the game?
I don't know about consensus, because I think the last one is worse than this, but this is definitely the second worst in my opinion.
So one of the annoying things about these 3D stages is whenever I charge, you lock on to the closest enemy. And in this stage, because there are so many jellyfish, frequently it'll pull you away from the trajectory that you want. So we can't actually go at maximum speeds reliably. Also, when we charge, it produces some bubbles, which can lag the game. Fortunately, it was a clean stage.
So, here we're sinking to this little, I don't know, like sponge fish. I think those are just spots, but I like to think it's a sponge.
It does look like a sponge.
And we're, you're singing a beautiful song to it, pushing it around. And
oh god, what just happened?
Oh. I'm gonna throw up. Oh, it's still alive. And then you ate it.
Yep.
You jerk.
So, yeah, that dolphin is actually a wall. Basically, you have to feed it, otherwise he won't let you through to the glyph. And it actually does count as a wall. Oh, damn.
Oh, dang.
So, this is the most annoying current section in the game. We've got to use these rocks to get through the current, and sometimes the rocks don't behave particularly well.
The rings are not RNG in this difficulty. On hard mode, I think the way they move around is RNG.
Yes, in hard mode, the movement of the rings is RNG, but the order they appear in is not.
Mm-hmm.
So, Moray Abyss, the first boss level.
Yeah, this stage is, well, it's not so bad in this difficulty, but it's pretty awful if you mess it up. First I'll explain the eels. The yellow eels are not so bad in this difficulty, but the red eels will basically kill you instantly. You don't have iframes in this game. They will kill you. They will do one-hit damage every frame, so they will kill you in 15 frames for all 15 HP, which is a quarter second. If you just basically glance them, you are very likely to die instantly. The other thing is this conch shell is it moves by its own, but you can push it further, which will speed up the stage. But there's still like a little bit of RNG to like how that mixes up. And at the end here, you fight a red eel that's inside of it by throwing your sonar at its face.
And if that weren't bad enough, I take damage the entire time I'm pushing the shell.
Yeah, so it's a good thing there's a bunch of school of fish in irregular intervals that you can get. So this is the beginning of the sphere hunting stage. We're trying to rebuild the asteroid. We finally reached the point where all of them are located. So here we're going to get the first 2 pairs, and the asteroid's going to mumble some stuff because it's barely alive right now. And as we do so, we get keys, basically, to open up these crystals and get to the second half.
Yeah, Sea of Birds, which is what this stage is called, is very short, only 2 pairs, and nothing too spectacular about it. As you can probably tell, if we were to rebuild the asteroid, it's gonna take, pretty long time, because we gotta constantly go back to this ring. So hold on to that thought. And Kronoon's gonna explain what's going on here because I actually need to focus.
Yeah, this is one of the major tricks in this run. So this is the eye. There's a bunch of pairs here, but we're gonna just not do that. Instead, we're going to abuse this mechanic here and use the ricochet from the crystals to propel ourselves out of bounds. And We use a precise setup now to actually skip. There used to be 2 of those that we had to do. Now we just do 1. Grim got it, saves a bunch of time, saves over 5 minutes.
Oh, got the second one too.
And he got the second one. Great job. I don't need to roast you.
Yeah, you don't need. Well, wait, because I can still technically soft lock on hungry ones.
All right. You could technically. Okay, you could technically lose time here. I was gonna say it's a soft lock, but it's not. But yeah. So that's a 2 major glyph skips. Those were found, I guess, like in the past 2 years. The setup for getting the double glyph skip was found very recently, earlier this year by Mr. GrimShins here.
It was one of those things where we thought it was like totally random, and it's like, oh, if you get it, great. But I did puzzle out a consistent way to do it, and actually the one on Big Water, the stage with the blue whales, that one was even tougher because it used to be that had a nearly 100% chance of soft locking the game because you would zip too far into the wall and get pushed into a room that you can't get out of, so you would need to reset. But I found a consistent setup for it. There's still a chance it can go wrong. So one of the reasons I have Cronoon on commentary was he was going to mercilessly roast me if I soft locked the game.
Yeah, I was. But this stage unfortunately doesn't have any glitches, although we've tried very hard to find one, because these sphere hunting stages are pretty long in general. It's a good thing we got the eye, but we can't find one for this. We can't use that crystal skip here. There's a crystal right here that he's going to get. But there's just no way that we can make it useful right now. Okay, so out of that, we go to another major glitch. This is a Hungry One skip, where he's going to use a spur just like in Fin to Feather to clip through the rock and go out of bounds, and then go straight to the exit, which is directly below the entrance. Now this is really difficult, probably the most difficult trick now.
Yeah, I would say this is the most difficult sort of mandatory trick in the run.
Yeah, it's a very precise angle and position. Everything has to line up very close, and yeah, it's pretty difficult. The previous method of doing this stage in the speed run was just using Ecco as a dolphin to just go through the whole stage.
Oh, there we go, got it.
Great, awesome, good job. But yeah, like before as a dolphin, there's no air in the stage, so you have to have very smooth movement and not get messed up once.
Yeah, the gimmick of that stage is you're supposed to turn into a shark, because then the lack of air doesn't matter, because you just breathe through your gills.
Yeah, it's funny because as a shark, if you don't move, you drown, like regular sharks.
And this is the best 3D stage in the game because you can go really fast, although I missed a ring. But basically, your charge cooldown resets every time you hit an enemy, so you can move much faster on this stage than any other by just charging into the sharks.
Yeah, it's a blast. Definitely a welcome change from the last one.
Alright, now we are in the alien nest on Earth. So you'll see some weird stuff here.
Yeah, there's one more glitch at the end of this stage. And it's going to be another rock clip where well, it's not really rocks, but we're going to squeeze through some objects to get to the exit and skip hitting a glyph. We do have to get the first one, though.
So I have to make sure that I touch against the bottom of the seafloor in order to load the objects in at the right order in order to clip through. Because if you don't do that, sometimes the objects will load in a different order, and then you don't know which one you can actually clip through, so it becomes rather tricky. And now we're being taken to the future.
Yeah. Very questionable visual here as these two aliens grab you from both sides and shake you around. You go into the future. We go into the alien base. It's not in space. It's just like floating in the sky.
Yeah, you'll notice in the future that water is kind of scarce. So all of a sudden, this is a platform game.
Yeah, these are personally my favorite stages in the game.
Mine as
mainly
well.
because of how they look. Because I love Chrome. There is a trick. It's a glitchless trick actually, and it used to be the most difficult trick before we found more glitches in this run. And yeah, well, we'll be getting to it momentarily. But there's some cool stuff here, like that floating sphere that like magnetically grabs objects. You have these worms that like will chase you around unless you get far enough away. You also run into the second checkpoint glyphs. The first ones you'll see in the speedrun. And here is the trick. So instead of having to climb this section with a bunch of tiny water tubes up and up and up, we're instead going to be making one single movement to take a very strange, like, upwards acute angle to get into that vertical tube.
Yeah,
and it's very tricky.
The fact that I got it first attempt is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
And we got the second trick, too.
Awesome, yeah. So that's a smaller time save, but you can jump back across and save some more time climbing.
Black clouds. A new
route change
sucks. So I only have myself to blame for this. There are 4 glyphs in the stage that will remove barriers. We only get 3 now because we're gonna do a very tricky jump that wasn't intended by the developers at all. It's bad.
Yeah, and I mean, the typical way of doing this is that there's 4 crystal glyphs. Oh, very nice, very nice. There's 4 crystal glyphs, usually, that you have to go around all the stages to get it. But we just skip that, get 3 to open up the bare minimum, and jump right into these spawning like little boogers. And if you wait too long in any single way, they just knock you back out, and I think it's like a 10-second time loss or more.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's worth going for because it saves 14 seconds versus doing the stage the old route. This level had some very strange gravity in it, but we kind of skipped most of it by taking, again, another unintended shortcut. And now...
second boss.
Yep.
This is Globeholder. It is a giant ball. Actually, I think this is one of the coolest bosses in video games. Just how abstract it is. You just knock it against the walls. And this part's a simple... the hard part is making sure it doesn't grab back onto the edges, because if it does, it'll start healing. And it's also huge and can crush you very easily. In the second phase, we just we have a sense for the timing and just go back and forth. But yeah, it's a pretty hard boss to optimize.
Yeah, that might have been the fastest globe holder in a marathon, though.
Yeah, that was clean. But yeah, that's a final pair of spheres, and we're going back to the past, back to the present, really, to finally complete the reconstruction of the asteroid. And he's going to give us some goodies.
Yeah, and I got to be careful not to go too fast here because we can actually soft lock the game.
Yeah.
We did not soft lock the game.
Beautiful. All right.
So yeah, you'll notice that our air bar is no longer there. We don't have to breathe underwater anymore.
Yeah, so we're back to the very beginning of the game, and we're going to destroy the aliens now.
Yep. So if you played the original Ecco, you might remember a horrible long auto-scrolling segment. There's an auto-scroller here, but we skip past half of it by doing a wall clip. It's the easiest trick in the game to do. You just swim at full speed against that wall, and you get sucked into the auto-scroller. In this section, I intentionally don't kill this vortex drone, this alien, because only one can spawn at a time, and I want to make sure that I can predict where they spawn. So as long as I keep this guy alive, none of the others will spawn.
And also with these vortices. They have the same effect as the red eels. If you touch them for like more than a quarter second, you're dead. They will kill you instantly, even though you have recharging health.
Oh, and anybody who's watched my stream can tell you that I have in fact lost runs due to that.
Yeah, these like bean worms are also pretty bad. But yeah, if you notice here, we have like this kind of H.R. Geiger-esque influence in the art design, and that will be if you notice with the aliens of vortices, they look like aliens, and and they. They literally look like the xenomorph from Alien. Also, nightmare fuel inside your children.
We're gonna go for a quick kill on this boss, so I'm intentionally gonna let myself get sucked in slightly. Then I'm gonna tilt myself downward and spam sonar. And if we do that, we get a guaranteed 1 cycle.
Yeah, easy does it.
That's it. We won. We killed the queen. Everyone's happy.
Not time.
Yeah.
It's not time.
Yeah.
There's still more to go. But yeah, no, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, we won. Like, we're the hero of the sea again. But no, this game pulls a Donkey Kong Country on us. There's more to come, but we can't do anything to speed up this section. So this is normally where we take a bathroom break.
Yes.
Both Kronoon and I have actually gotten world records in this game where we went to go take a leak during this this extended scene here. So it's thank you, Novitrade, and thank you, Ed Annunziata, for including this. Oh man. Looking at all this excitement in chat. Y'all are awesome. I hope everyone's having a good time.
No, not together.
Yeah. So you actually can slightly speed this up by mashing the B and C buttons here. You can save maybe like half a second. So I do actually have this as a separate split in my splits, but yeah. One thing that I need to point out is anytime I'm moving in this game, I am rapidly tapping the C button because that's the fastest form of movement in the game. So if you were looking at an input viewer for this game, I would be doing probably no fewer than 3 or 4 inputs a second for the entire game.
All right. Dang. And this is the last 3D stage. This is, in my opinion, the worst part of the game. It's very difficult. So we have jellyfish, sharks, those shells, and also eagles in the air. And it's very laggy. And just like in the jellyfish 3D stage, as you charge, you're going to be pulled towards whatever enemy is closest towards you. And that causes all sorts of problems, like we mentioned before. Like, you'll just miss a ring, or you'll get hit, and you'll keep on getting hit, and you'll die. It's very annoying. There's different ways of doing this. You can just do like 2 charges, and then just swim normally towards the ring, or you can risk it and try to charge to get those boosts off the enemies, but make sure you're aiming in the right direction and like not charge. There's always different ways of doing it.
Oh man.
But that was amazing. Not a single ring missed. And yeah, awesome job.
And now the Asterite gives us an info dump where he explains that by going into the past in the first Ecco game, we split the stream of time into 2, which is why there was a good future and a bad future, and he tells us to go to Atlantis to destroy the time machine so that doesn't happen again. So now we're in Atlantis.
Atlantis was like a whole huge section of the first game, but it's just the end here. So all sorts of different little puzzle elements in the stage. You use rocks or blocks to break open some gates, we're gonna have to deal with a sponge fish again. We're gonna have to sacrifice it for the good of the world. There's also a key glyph and door glyph. There's also going to be crushing blocks and a lag monster coming up shortly.
We're going to try to avoid the lag monster because it really slows down the game. But yeah, overall, good Atlantis so far. Managed to avoid the lag monster. And we didn't get crushed.
All right, this is the scariest part for me. I've lost many runs there.
So we were supposed to transform into a school of fish in this level, but that's slow, so we skipped the metasphere. It's a free skip. You just hold left B and C, and then tap down, and you kind of move around the bounding box.
You do have to do it before the stage spawns in. That's not the right word.
Yeah.
But before the level, the title card of the stage shows up, so you can buffer it.
And now for the worst stage in the game. That's not so bad on any percent, but yeah, this is somewhat of a stealth mission. We've got to use these vortex larvae to open doors for us. There's only 2 that we need on any percent. Oh, and we actually got the block fall skip. Cool.
Nice.
In hard mode, there are 9. The larvae are invincible. They can crush you instantly. And yeah, we've just got to kind of wait for them. The fastest way to move them is by aggroing them and sonaring them. And
get ready on time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm controlling time, so...
get ready on time, Grim.
Yeah. All right, just last door here. All right. Hey, came in under estimate.
Oh, awesome. Nicely done.
Oh, thank you.
35 is a really good time.
Yeah. That was, the world record is 35, but honestly, there's so many things that can go wrong in the course of a run that 35 is insanely good. So,
secret password is 6.
Yeah! This secret password originally was going to be used in a sequel to this game. I believe it was going to appear on the 32X, but we know how well the 32X did. So, that didn't happen. And, in these ending, sort of epilogue here, it explains that those vortex larvae that we see in City of Forever, that was actually the Vortex Queen. She escaped in the form of a larva and uses the time machine to go back into the past. She finds creatures that she can't control over, so she has to integrate into Earth's life cycles, and her descendants become arthropods. So, insects and crustaceans and all that. So, the game introduces another time paradox there. And, Ecco, as it turns out, is really bad at following instructions. So instead of destroying the time machine, he activates it and disappears into the tides of time. But, yeah, so that's it. It was a good run. I just want to thank Retro Gaming Live TV for putting on this excellent marathon and for letting me show you this silly dolphin game. Thank you so much, Kronoon, for providing commentary. You were a big help. Let me focus on some of the trickier tricks. And I just want to also say, if it weren't for Kronoon, I wouldn't have discovered this amazing Sega speedrunning community, and I've met so many cool people through it, just really incredible people. Gotta give shout outs to Planet Chaos, to The Lair, gotta give shout outs to the City of Forever Discord, Caverns of Hope, you're all awesome. Big shout out to Dolphy for being the first person to push this game below 40 minutes and really making the speedrun kind of, that much more exciting. And
shout out to Blue Glass.
Oh, Blue Glass, the man, the legend, who is the only person other than myself to run hard mode in a marathon. Love you, Blue Glass, wherever you are. And yeah.
Come back to us.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks so much. Love you all.
See ya.